Welcome back to the Greener Lawn. Today we're going to be answering the most common questions asked about aeration and dethatch. These are two common techniques that are used in the lawn, and I'll be answering the most common questions to make sure that we are using our time correctly, not wasting our money, and just getting the results that we're looking for. That's going to be the key to all this, correct? So let's go ahead and answer those most common questions. In this video, I'm going to be starting out with aeration first and then dethatch second. If you're looking for the dethatch most common questions, go ahead and go to this timestamp, and that's where the dethatch will be. Aeration most common questions. When should I aerate my lawn? It is best to do it right as you come out of the winter and the ground has unthawed and you can get the penetration that you need down into the soil. If the machine's not getting deeper into the soil, that 4 to 6 inches like the tine should be, then it's not going to be maximum benefit for what you are using it for. It will be more of a waste of time, waste of money situation if you're not getting it in deeper. Probably the most common question that can be asked is, should I aerate my lawn? So the nice thing about it is that there's some pretty telltale signs whether or not you should aerate your lawn. The biggest thing is that it's hard, it's compact, things aren't penetrating, you're not getting moisture that's going down, it's staying on top of the soil. Those are the best reasons to go ahead and aerate your lawn. Side benefits of it is to add oxygen and organic matter down into the soil and make it a lot better. Theoretically deeper down into the soil quicker than putting it across the top and letting it naturally work its way through the soil profile. This will inject it 4 inches down every 6 to 8 inches as we poke holes. You can make multiple passes, get a lot closer, which is better. So for compaction, what we're trying to do is take out that core and then have it fill in naturally to release the lateral side pressure that's been sitting there because it's all together. And we've taken out a core, now it can relax and kind of come together. I like to add a little bit of organic material in it, be it sand, be it compost, be it a soil mix with sand, something that is different than our natural soil that we're having issues with, so that we have these pockets. So why else do people aerate their lawn is to get airflow down into the root zone, down into the crowns to open it up. People will say that it's a good dethatching. Use a dethatcher if you're trying to get thatch out. This, in my opinion, isn't going to be your solution. It will aerate the ground, so you will get airflow down into the soil, which is good, but it will not open up the crown level, soil level, where a lot of microbial activity and stuff within the plants, and they won't be as good as what it should be if you use this versus dethatching. If you're trying to remove thatch, the best way overall is to use a dethatcher. Can you use this as a combo hit? Yes. So another thing you need to look at is, if you are asking should you dethatch, is do you have good moisture penetration into your soil, or is it standing and pooling up at the top? Yes, this can be a quick way of alleviating and allowing water to penetrate further down into the soil. Should I aerate my lawn when overseeding? There's two different schools of thought, and I will tell you the other school of thought, and I will then tell you my thought process. So the school of thought is, yes, do it. It's going to give you that hole. You're going to be able to loosen up the soil. It's going to be able to start those growth of the plants easier. You're going to get seed down in those holes, and it's going to be able to germinate really well out of there. My thought process on it is that if I'm only opening up the soil right there, if I have thatch, theoretically that would be the reason why you would need to open it up, is because you have a layer that's blocking it. The crowns are too thick and it's not getting seed to soil contact. We're wanting to open that area up, and poking a hole every 6 to 8 inches when we're throwing out pounds of seed over 1,000 square feet and we're only getting one hole every 6 to 8 inches, it's not as beneficial as if I open up the whole soil level by dethatching, and now there's a soil that's available for that seed to land in and get into and grow everywhere. So would I personally use aeration for an overseed? Personally, I like dethatching better. Has aeration been used for years and years and years with seeding? Yes, it definitely has. And there are benefits if you're not going to dethatch. The down point to dethatching, and this is kind of the drawback to it, is that you're going to stress your natural grass right before you hit it. But my thought process, once again, is that we are going to then be watering more to establish the seed, which rebounds it. And two, we are going to be feeding it nutrients, which then establishes it even more because it can get healthy again and then grow with the seed. So that is definitely the way that I would recommend it. But aeration is better than nothing. See if it's something that you'd like to proceed with an aeration. Should I use an aeration machine or lawn shoes or a hand tool? So I'm going to go ahead and address the lawn shoes with the spikes on it first. It does not remove any kind of material out. All you're doing is stepping in, pushing a spike down into it, and it's pushing everything laterally. So in my thought process, it is compacting the soil more because you're just shoving it sideways, and something that was already compact at this point has now been pushed even further sideways, versus what a machine or a handheld aeration tool will do is that they pull a core out and now it fills this way, and so the pressure that's been in here now can move laterally. If you're just needing moisture to get deeper, yes, that'll work. Now, hand aeration, it's pretty tedious. It will take you some time. It's good, it's easy to fit in your garage, cheap. You can get these little machines, at a lot of different retailers and stuff, but it's a lot of work because you're having to step on it, walk, step on it, walk, step on it. Usually only 2 tines on there. Step on it, walk, step on it, walk. If you have a larger yard and you just want to knock it out, aeration machine will do it very quickly. Yes, it does cost money. Yes, they are heavy. They can be difficult to use. Can you cause damage with stuff? Yes. There are pros that'll come out and do it, especially in the spring. There's people coming around asking all the time, or companies that are offering the services, and it's good to take advantage of it if you're needing it. They're quick, they're efficient, they come in, they get the job done, and then they move on. If you're a homeowner that wants to get it done quickly, a machine and or a professional who's doing it will do it the best. If you have a smaller area or you just want to take your time and have something that you can go out and aerate your lawn throughout the season to get a little bit more air and penetration down and in there, that little step and move will definitely work for you. Should I dethatch my yard? Thought process behind should I dethatch my yard sits on the premise of, do you have more than a 1/2 inch worth of thatch in your yard? If it is, it's going to start choking out the soil level so that microbes can't breathe, the grass crowns aren't breathing, and it's not going to perform at its best if it is above 1/2 inch. If it's below, that's healthy. Don't worry about it. No, you do not need to dethatch your lawn. Thatch is healthy for the lawn. So your lawn is always building a thatch layer and removing its own thatch layer through the microbes that are eating that and breaking it down for us. And it's a natural, healthy process for your lawn. It just can't be too thick so that it chokes out this process. That's all we're looking for. So another reason that you would dethatch is if you have a lot of fungal issues. It's holding too much moisture. It is good to kind of keep that thatch layer super reduced so that you're not holding excess moisture down in the soil, and it's allowing it to breathe down at the soil level and dry out. That will help mitigate the funguses quite a bit. So that's definitely a good reason to run a dethatcher, even if you have a healthy thatch layer, is to get that excess material out of there and dry up your soil so that the funguses will start to subside. They thrive with moisture and a food source, and that thatch layer will provide both of that for them. What does dethatching do? What dethatching does is it opens up the soil level, takes that thatch layer out, and allows air and moisture to get down to the soil, allows the root zone to breathe, the crowns, and the microbes to breathe down at the crown level. What are my dethatching options? 1, you can use a pro. 2, you can use a pro machine. 3, you can get a homeowner machine. 4, you can use a rake. So a pro with the machine is going to be quick and it's going to cost money. Renting a machine is now your time and you with the machine. So totally fine. Same thing as a professional. Most of these machines are rented by professionals during the season that they need them. Some have them, But same thing, you're renting a machine, you're coming in, you're dethatching the area and getting that thatch out. Homeowner options, one that I actually like, I'll leave a link to it right here, is the Sunjoe Dethatcher. They have several different ones. They'll pull the thatch out pretty darn well. And it's something that you can have around. Obviously, you have the initial cost of it, where renting it, you don't have to store it, you have to store these, so a little bit different. Now the last option is a dethatching rake, and a dethatching rake is a lot of manual labor. If you're good with manual labor or have a small yard, then a dethatching rake is probably going to be totally fine with you, because it's going to be the cheapest option, and it's one that you can store super easily because it's just a little rake, and you can just pull it out where you need it. If you need to do a whole yard and your yard's larger, this is going to take a while. Maybe I should try something else. It'll definitely be a pain. I bet you anything that if you go down in the comments, people will tell you what they think about their dethatching rakes. Go ahead and do that. When should you dethatch your lawn? So the best time is as the lawn is hitting a good stride, it's starting to grow actively, is a great time to go ahead and hit it, because what it will do is it will rebound better. And then when you're going with seeding, that is another time that is really good, is to open up that whole soil so that we have the seed to soil contact. We talked about that in the aeration. So if you're wondering about what I'm kind of talking about and you didn't watch the aeration portion of it, go back and watch Should I Aerate While Seeding? And that'll explain that. So it's good to use it during that time, which is traditionally middle of September range. In the spring, that's usually around April, early May is when that you'll want to do it. You don't want to do it too early when the grass isn't actively growing, because it will stress it out. Yeah, you'll get the material and stuff out, but you definitely want to be able to get a rebound after you do it. Now, the biggest question that people are probably thinking right now is, can I do this during the summer? Well, the answer is yes. You can definitely do it during the summer. It's a little bit more stressful on your lawn to do it at this point in time, but there can be benefits if it's done on a light setting and you're keeping that soil open so that you're getting water to get down to the root zone. It's not getting trapped in a thatch layer, but removing it during the summer also will keep the root zone hotter, because it is a layer that keeps it cool and moist. Kind of stress the plant out to remove all of its thatch. There's a couple of benefits both ways. Way where you live, do you get super hot? Then leave a little thatch layer so that it can get in there and keep it moist and it will cover the soil. Are you in a place that is super humid and gets lots of rain but doesn't get very hot? Well, I would keep your thatch layer as minimal as possible in this area so that it will dry out in between these things so that you don't have fungal issues. So yeah, do it in the summer. So kind of weigh it like that. Make sense? If not, leave it in the comments down below. So as you can see, these two practices are totally different. They're meant to do different things. Aeration, once again, is to help compaction and to get moisture and air movement down in the soil. Dethatch is to open up the soil level so that water and moisture can obviously start to penetrate. It allows the lawn to breathe. You have to weigh what your issue is to what you should be using one of these techniques for. They are not the same. If you have any other questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to me at jeremyofthegreenerlawn@gmail.com. I think you'd really like this video right here. It's going to be a solid one for you to watch if you want to see how a homeowner dethatcher works. I'm Jeremy of The Greener Lawn. Make her green.